Why the UCC filing? The legal path to voluntary enslavement in America. Historical foundations of federal expansion. Following the American Civil War, the United States sought to expand its jurisdiction beyond the constitutionally limited federal enclaves, such as the District of Columbia and lands for forts or arsenals, by crafting a system that would extend federal power over people and property. This transformation was enabled through strategic legislative changes, heavily influenced by financial interests connected to England. Citizenship redefined through amendments. Prior to the 14th Amendment, citizenship was derived solely from the individual states. After its ratification in 1868, a new federal citizenship was established, offering certain benefits, but also binding obligations, regulated entirely by federal authority. The 15th Amendment granted these new federal citizens the right to vote in federal elections. Participation was voluntary, but the consequences of that participation led to a transformation in the relationship between individuals and government. The banking system, war powers, and the rise of legal fictions. In 1913, sweeping changes occurred. The Federal Reserve Act created a central banking authority, the 16th Amendment permitted income taxation, the 17th Amendment changed how senators were elected, diminishing state sovereignty, and the American Bar Association was established, enabling centralized control over legal interpretation. In 1917, wartime legislation allowed the federal government to circumvent constitutional limitations under declared emergencies. The role of registration in creating constructive trusts. By encouraging registration of births, vehicles, and property, individuals unknowingly transferred legal title to the federal government, while assuming liability as sureties for federal debts. These actions were disguised as benefits, e.g., Social Security and maternity leave, while their true purpose was to secure human collateral. House Joint Resolution 192, Remedy through Discharge. In 1933, H.J.R. 192 eliminated the requirement to pay debts in gold and established a statutory remedy allowing Americans to discharge public debts using any lawful currency. This served as an insurance policy to shield federal officers from charges of treason for instituting a debt-based economy without disclosure. The Uniform Commercial Code, formalizing legal fiction. By the mid-20th century, the UCC was implemented nationwide to unify commercial law. Under the UCC, contracts and obligations could be based on presumptions rather than tangible assets. This allowed courts to enforce commercial claims rooted in form and process rather than substance. Separation of title and substance. Through registration, the United States acquired legal title to property, while the people retained equitable interest. The value generated from registered property was held in constructive trusts for the rightful owners, the people. However, without knowledge of the remedy or proper legal action, individuals could not access the profits held in trust. Debtor or creditor, the role you choose. The UCC outlines distinct roles. Debtors are obligated to perform and are subservient, while creditors retain ownership and control. Courts presume individuals to be debtors unless they rebut this status through proper legal declarations and actions. Ignorance or failure to assert one's position results in continued subjugation. Conclusion: the path to redemption through knowledge. The federal government provided a legal remedy for those who would seek to reclaim their rights and property. However, this remedy was intentionally buried beneath layers of complex statutes and procedural formalities. Those who learn the law, assert their rights, and act within the framework of commercial legal principles may reclaim their status as sovereign creditors. The Uniform Commercial Code is not inherently unjust. It is a neutral framework that can empower or enslave, depending on one's knowledge and ability to navigate it. The choice, whether to act as a debtor or creditor, is ultimately yours.